Welcome to the 113th episode of the Trading Without Borders podcast with Omobi, your host. Today's episode will focus on the fourth priority of AFDB's I5 priorities in its 10-year strategy. If you recall, I had spoken about the I5 priorities of the AFDB in previous episode. The AFDB released its 10-year strategy for Africa, and under it, I5 priorities that the bank wants to focus on the next 10 years, and I've spoken about three of them in previous episodes. One is Light Up and Power Africa. Number 2 is Feed Africa. Number 3 is Industrialize Africa. And the fourth one, which we are focusing on today, is Integrate Africa. And the final one, which will be next week's episode, that is Improve the Quality of Life of the People of Africa. So in today's episode, I will highlight the ambition for 2033, opportunities and challenges, and the bank's priorities. What will be the focus of the bank in achieving this objective of integrating Africa? So let's look at this. So under this priority, the bank aims to promote the free movement of goods, finance and people, and build regional value chains as the foundation for a more productive African economy and to drive industrialization. So what's the ambition for 2033? I'll just highlight some of it, not all. One of the ambition is that the AFCFTA by 2033 will be well advanced, drawing on the building blocks of the regional economic communities. For those that are not aware, the regional economic communities, there are 8 of them. I'll just quickly list them out. We have ECOWAS, the economic communities of West African states. We have the East African community. We have the Arab Maghreb Union. We have the Southern African Development Community. We have the COMESA, that's Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. We have the Community of Sahel-Saharan States, that's CENSAD. We have Economic Community of Central African States. We also have Intergovernmental Authority on Development. So these regional economic communities, they are regional groupings of Africa. So, just to reiterate that they are regional groupings of African states. That's what the regional economic communities are. So the AFCFTA will also be drawing upon the building blocks that is already existing within the regional economic communities. Let's look at another one: cross-border infrastructure, connections and improved border management, because we'll have helped with improving that, making trade across national borders faster and less costly. Another ambition is that the intra-African trade volumes will be rising steadily, and African farmers and agribusinesses and industrial firms will be linked into regional value chains and enjoy rising productivity through economies of scale. One more, let's just look at one more before we move into opportunities and challenges. Visa-free travel and mutual recognition of skills will have supported the emergence of regional labor markets and by helping to fill key skills gap. However, with the ambition comes opportunities and challenges that need to be addressed or that must be addressed. So the first one is the division of Africa into 54 national economies, and with many of them small and landlocked. And this has impeded the progress of the continent. So the report notes that regional economic integration is a shared priority of Africa's leaders. And under AFCFTA, that builds on the sub-regional trade agreement, tariffs will be gradually removed on over 90% of intra-African trade by 2035. And with the full implementation of AFCFTA through the if we can overcome the practical challenges rather, trade could increase by 450 billion USD by 2035, and that will raise average incomes by 7% and lift 30 million people out of poverty. Of course, economic integration will also support the development of manufacturing. It will enable African industries to benefit from the larger global market and economies of scale. Africa currently accounts for less than 3% of global value added in manufacturing. Okay, so let's see what we have next on the opportunities and challenges. Intra-African trade is growing, but it represents 15% of total African trade. Then the African Regional Integration Index that's jointly produced by AFDB and UN Economic Commission for Africa, and that tracks integration along 5 dimensions. And the report of that is that Africa integration lags well behind other global regions, but with promising dynamics at the sub-regional level, with East African community having the highest score, and goods traded within Africa have greater value added than those exported outside the continent, which are usually unprocessed minerals and primary commodities. Let's look at another challenge and opportunity. And there will be challenges around the removal of non-tariff barriers, clarifying rules, and moving towards common regulatory standards. And of course, intra-regional trade is impeded by poor infrastructure and limited transport connectivity, which will require some major investments. And then another one is the need for cooperation in managing cross-border natural resources such as forest and river systems. The report notes that Africa's lakes and river system are a vital resource for hydropower irrigation and fisheries, and unless this is managed in a collaborative and sustainable manner, they can easily be degraded by overutilization. So let's look at what the bank's priorities are. What is going to be its focus in achieving the Integrate Africa priority? So number one is the bank intends to scale up infrastructure connectivity by drawing on its comparative advantage in regional and cross-border projects. Number two, the bank will promote cross-border trade and investment to support the implementation of the AfCFTA and regional trade agreements. The bank will support an improved regulatory environment for regional integration by working with African countries to remove tariffs and non-tariff barriers to trade. It will also support the implementation of free movement of persons protocol within REX to help reduce labor market gaps in high growth and innovative economic sectors. And the final focus, that's the top priority, is to deepen Africa's financial integration. That is to enable the financial institutions to become regional players in order to facilitate cross-border trade, banking and payments, and to also support the integration of Africa's capital markets. Okay, so this is where we wrap up for today. And as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need information or you need support in doing business in Africa, in accessing and expanding your business into Africa, please reach out to me. My name is Omobola Adekola on LinkedIn. And until next week, I say to you, bye-bye.